Hey, it's Adrian with Ocean Independence. I'm stood right here on the beach club of this fantastic 45-meter vessel launched earlier this year by the Hakvoort shipyard. This yacht is a great example of what can be achieved when an experienced shipyard, a knowledgeable owner, and a great team of designers get together to make the owner's vision a reality. Today, we're anchored right outside of Portofino. We have a beautiful backdrop. We're on this spectacular vessel, which is just brimming with innovative features, cutting-edge technology, and a very special water toy, which I can't wait to show you. And with that, let's start this tour and let's get right into it. We're here on the main deck aft, and the main deck aft is a very important part of any vessel as it sets the tone for the rest of the vessel. Having a quick look around here, you notice the beautiful curved design, the designer furniture, simply a beautiful area to socialize and to relax. The owner himself was very much involved in the design of this space and in fact in the design of the rest of the vessel. And his previous vessel was a very sporty 25-meter vessel. And there were some aspects of that vessel that he really enjoyed, such as the vessel's silhouette, which was very sporty and very sleek. And he'd asked his designers to carry over some of these aspects into MILELE. Omega, the exterior architects, I think they did an incredible job with this, just with certain details that just highlight the sporty nature of this vessel. So just looking at these stanchions, the forward slanting, even look at the fair leads, they're also forward slanting, and they give this great feeling of speed and sportiness. And it does do 25 knots, so make no mistake, this is a fast vessel. And speaking about details, I first toured this vessel myself last night actually, and there's two things that stood out to me. It's the attention to detail and then the cohesiveness of the design. So you'll notice as we continue touring this vessel that there's several elements that continue repeating, such as this glass coffee table right here, designer armchairs. Now we have the privilege of being in beautiful Portofino today, and in case you want to sit here, soak up the sun and enjoy the backdrop, well, you can do so on these beautiful sun pads. In fact, they're hydraulically operated, so a section of the sun pad can be lifted up, giving you an even better view. That covers it for the main deck aft, and so I suggest we move inside to the main salon. And I'll be taking off my sunglasses so as not to be rude. Now, we've stepped inside. It's almost as if we've remained outside because there's so much light pouring into this main salon. So how did the designers achieve such a great luminosity in this room? Well, the first reason is quite obvious. We have these floor-to-ceiling windows on either side. And the second reason is the design of the bulwark and the stanchions. So what the designers have done is they've lowered down the solid section of the bulwark and they spaced the stanchions in such a way as to have almost unobstructed views. And the third aspect is this particular area right here. We have these curved glass panels, which allows you to look out aft. It gives you views of 270 degrees, which are almost unobstructed. At this point, I'd like to mention Martin Hanf. He's the interior designer. He was very involved in the entire design process. And with the owner, he's picked out all the furniture and designed all of these spaces. We have, again, Desiree designer furniture. I love the way the current furniture curves. I think that adds a very nice touch. So moving forward towards the dining area, we find ourselves in this transitional space. And while designing the yacht, they found that the space between the main salon and the dining area is occasionally poorly utilized. And so they had this idea to create this transitional space, and through the use of concave and convex edges, I think they created a nice sense of flow. In addition, gives the owner the opportunity to display some of his finer wine bottles, the rosés, his red wines, and his white wines. The cabinetry, instead of having buttons that you'd push for the cabinets to open, these buttons are actually covered by a strip of leather, which then has the MILELE logo stitched right onto it. So thanks to this transitional space, I feel like the dining area feels like an extension of the main salon, and I'd like to point out a few cool details in here. So we'll start off with the dining table itself, obviously completely custom made. And I'd like the use of root wood here, as I've been told it's root wood, so I need to take my word for it. Another cool detail I find is the fact that the shape of the ceiling paneling with recessed lighting right behind it mirrors the shape of the dining table. Then right behind the dining table, we have a rather cool piece of artwork which I feel stands out because it's so very different from the rest of the design, and that's what makes it work so well. And the artwork is made by the famous artist Beltracchi, and we'll see more of his art throughout the vessel. But naturally, when you have so many unique elements, the great artwork, the beautiful design of furniture, and of course the beautiful surroundings, you want to have large windows to admire all these things. And so thankfully the designers put in these almost floor-to-ceiling windows on either side of the dining room area. And with that, let's head into the main landing area. They say that all paths lead to Rome. Well, in the case of MILELE, all paths lead to this landing right here. We have to starboard, we have access to the outside decks. We go down the spiral staircase, we get to the guest cabins. We go up the spiral staircase, we get to the sky lounge. And then forward, we have access to the master cabin. And then to the left of the master cabin, we have access to the galley. Before we leave the landing, I'd like to point out a couple of cool details. We have this curved wood paneling. I can only imagine how hard that must have been to get right. We have this beautiful fabric covering the ceilings. We have light coming in through this floor-to-ceiling window, and then we have this plant to add in a touch of green. This is the owner's study with a view, so in case you want to get some work done, you absolutely need to get it done. This is the perfect spot. You can watch the waves, concentrate on your work, listen to some music. Thanks to the Starlink system that we have on board, there's absolute connectivity no matter where you are in the Med, so that's never going to be a concern. Stepping through these beautiful wooden doors, we get to the full beam master cabin. I don't want to bore you with too many of the obvious details. We have plenty of storage. We have the king-size bed in the center, but I think what really adds the unique touch is once again the details. So we have this strip of wood which goes all around the bed and frames it quite nicely. We have a similar framing of the artwork opposite the bed. Then we have a strip of wood that goes around the bed itself on the floor, framing the bed in that way also. We have to the left and to the right these very contemporary, quite cool light installations. Moving past the artwork, we enter the ensuite. The ensuite is fantastic. It's marble clad. It offers great views to the outside. The his and the hers are very similar. We have vanity mirrors in each. We have a glass basin, which I particularly like, in both the his and the hers, of course. And then, as is customary, we have this large shower space in between with a rain head. Naturally, we can't leave the master cabin without having shown you the absolute standout feature of the cabin, which is this fold-down balcony. When you're anchored, as we are right now, we can fold down the balcony, adding an additional 2, 3, 4 square meters even of exterior space. Now, if you're an early riser, perhaps you want to sit outside, sip your coffee, watch the sunrise. It's a fantastic spot to be. After coffee, you may decide it's time for breakfast, so let me show you where that's made. Let's head to the galley. So we're here in the galley, and we have the honor of being joined by the yacht chef, Danny, and he'll be taking us through the galley, showing us all the equipment, and with that, I'll hand it over to him.
Hello, my name is Danny. This is my fabulous, fantastic galley. I'm really happy because the layout of this galley is amazing, really organized. I'm really happy too also because we have Electrolux equipment, we have 2 ovens, we have a nice induction, very strong, and a barbecue and a grill. Salamander for make warm during the service the food. A beautiful view, how can I say? And we have this nice machine where I can make homemade bread, homemade pasta, all the sweetness, cakes, pastry. This machine from Switzerland is amazing, packaged. I can make a beautiful ice cream or any kind of food that I can packetize with this lovely machine.
Welcome to the upper deck and welcome to the Sky Lounge. The Sky Lounge is MILELE's second interior guest socializing area. Thanks to its more contained size, I think it's a very intimate space, slightly more intimate than the main salon. It's a great space to relax and to enjoy the sea views. Since we're a deck higher than the main salon, we do have a more extensive view of the sea. In terms of the design, it keeps with the general theme of the vessel. You'll note that we have these light installations, which are the ones we found in the master cabin as well. And then, of course, we have the designer furniture. Perhaps the weather is not quite as sunny as it is today. If you decide you want to watch a movie, the Sky Lounge can also function as a sort of home cinema, if you will. In terms of entertainment, you really have anything that you would find at home. So you have your Apple TV, streaming services, you have a kaleidoscope system with thousands of movies on demand, really fantastic stuff. Don't think you'll get bored if you decide to watch a movie. In terms of other cool features, we have an integrated surround sound system, thanks to these speakers integrated into the ceiling, and that's something that you'll find throughout the yacht. We're now outside on the upper deck aft, and I just need to put on my sunglasses because the light is a bit stronger than it is in the inside. So the one thing that struck me out here was this very large, very long, custom-built table with seating for up to 10 guests. This is a so-called baobab table designed by Elements. Why baobab? Well, baobab is a tree that grows in Africa, and the table, or rather the part below, is modeled after the tree. The cool aspect of this alfresco dining area are these heating panels which are integrated into the ceiling. So on those chillier nights outside of the season, and this is absolutely a yacht that you can use outside, the main season going from May to September, you can sit here and still enjoy alfresco dining. Perhaps it's not chilly, but it is very windy. Well, in that case, another cool feature, we have these sliding doors, which slide shut. I love the way they're curved. In any case, they slide shut and shield you from the wind that may be coming in over the bow. Now, moving towards the aft of the vessel, we get to this vast socializing and relaxing area here. In the center, we have a coffee table similar to the one on the main deck. Again, it has the same cool lighting feature, so at night this lights up. It's a fantastic space to relax. On a sunny day like today, this sun awning comes in handy, can be even further extended or completely retracted depending on your preferences. Opposite me, we have a wet bar with plenty of storage. And then if we continue walking further forward here, we have wraparound side decks which lead us towards the bow and towards the bridge area. So just follow me and that's where we'll go next. Here we are at last on the bridge deck, the navigational center of the yacht. I'd like to take you through this equipment very briefly. Obviously state of the art, it was custom made, configured for MILELE. One thing that stood out to me are these 5 big screens, and you can display a variety of information on there. Currently we have our electronic charts, our sonar, we have our radar, CCTV, security camera footage, and then some engine parameters here. We have your sonar, so what is that? We have forward-looking sonar, and that allows us to detect objects that are beneath the surface, so something that doesn't meet the eye. This is very convenient when we're trying to maneuver, heading into coves that are maybe less familiar. You want to make sure you don't hit the rocks. That's what your forward-looking sonar is used for. Another cool feature is the dynamic positioning. Dynamic positioning allows you to keep the vessel in one spot without anchoring. Certainly when you're out exploring, there's going to be regions or areas where you're not allowed to drop the anchor, so that very much comes into handy. You'll remember that part of the design brief of the owner was for Hakvoort to create a vessel that is large, has plenty of volume, but can also navigate at fast speeds. And Hakvoort has achieved this by putting twin MTU 4000 series engines on this vessel. Each engine produces right around 3,000 horsepower, so we have 6,000 horsepower in total, allowing this vessel to reach speeds of up to 25-26 knots. That is very, very impressive for a vessel of this size. Of course, you don't always want to be going at 26 knots. Fret not, you can also reduce your speed to 12 knots, and this is quite a unique feature because generally speaking, you'll either have a go-fast yacht with a limited range or a displacement yacht with a very long range. MILELE, in essence, combines the best of both of these worlds. And we also have a very innovative feature that I'd like to point out. It's the work of Vano Sanen, the naval architects, and it's called a hull vane. It's almost like a wing underwater that attaches to the hull, giving MILELE more lift and making her more efficient and more stable at increased speeds and also at slower speeds. Overall, a great touch that just adds to the uniqueness of this vessel. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. So we'll go and continue our tour forward and head out onto the bow. So we're here on the foredeck, another great area for socializing and relaxing outside, offering somewhat more privacy than the aft decks. However, this area offers a lot more than just socializing and relaxing. It offers some of MILELE's most unique features, and we'll get to that in just a second. But let's start back here. We have built-in seating for 5 to 6 people. We have these slanted tables, similar in design to the coffee tables we've seen throughout. In front of these built-in seating in the table, we have these 2 sun pads. They're hydraulically operated, and the cool thing about the sun pads is that you can be lying either facing aft, if this section is lifted up, or should you so wish, you can raise up this section and look out at the sea and relax. This is not all the bow has to offer. Hidden below this unassuming bow section are in fact 3 further incredible features of MILELE. We have 2 poles in here, and in between the poles we can set up a hammock. While you're out at anchor, you can lie in the hammock, relaxing and unwinding. Feature number 2, the bow area in fact hinges up hydraulically, and what we can then do is we can set up a TV, or rather a cinema screen. We have a projector and we can stream any of the movies that your onboard entertainment system has to offer. So this really gives you that surround sound cinema feeling out in the open, perfect for those warm summer nights. We got a glimpse into that last night. It was full moon. We were sitting here watching a movie. It's an experience I'll surely remember for many, many days. And now, feature number 3, perhaps the most unique feature of this vessel, and one of the most unique features any yacht in this segment has to offer. What is it? Well, it's a fully fledged submarine. Placing a submarine on a vessel below 500 gross tons, as MILELE is, and built to class standards, is no small feat. In fact, the entire build team and the naval architects, Van Olsan in particular, went to great lengths to make this owner's dream a reality. So I was speaking to the captain the other day, and he was explaining to me that both he and the chief engineer are fully licensed to use the submarine, and they've had to go through an arduous training process lasting several months to obtain that license. Once you're done exploring the ocean, perhaps you want to admire it from above, so let's head over to the Sundeck to do just that. So we've made it. We're at the highest point of this vessel, the Sundeck. This section of the yacht offers a great deal of privacy and what I think are the best views on this vessel. Back here we have 3 sunbeds, we have our beautiful backdrop. Forward of the sunbeds, we have a hot tub offering almost 360 unobstructed degree views of our surroundings. Forward of the hot tub, we got another seating area, we have our beautiful designer furniture, and we can look out onto the sea. Now, in case you're sitting here, you're sipping your cocktail, maybe you're doing evening cocktails with guests, you want to listen to some opera or whatever else you want to listen to, we got our amazing surround sound system. We have integrated speakers over here and down below. And then we also have our wet bar right here, which really makes this zone a fantastic space for entertainment. Now, although I'd love to stay up here 24 hours, enjoying the views, enjoying the entertainment, everybody must sleep. So with that, let's head downstairs into the guest accommodation. Having walked down several flights of stairs, we've made it all the way down to the lower deck. And the lower deck is where all the guest accommodation is located. Now, before we get into the individual cabins, let me just give you a brief overview of what we have down here. So to my left, we have a VIP cabin. Then behind you, we have a twin cabin. And behind you and more towards the left, we have another VIP cabin. And for those of us that want to spend a very active vacation, we even have a gym, which is where this door leads right through here. Let me show you one of the VIP double cabins in greater detail. Now, you'll notice that the design of this cabin is very similar to what we previously saw in the master cabin. One difference being that the designers opted for a lighter wood. It's the wood that we also find in the main salon. But other than that, we have a similar fabric on the walls and on the ceiling. In terms of entertainment, we have our TV, which is integrated into the ceiling and pops down like this. Now, even though we're at the lower deck, we are obviously not below the surface of the sea. So looking out, we still get some pretty good views through these 3 portholes, which also let in plenty of natural light. The bathroom, the ensuite, is right through this door right here. It's similarly appointed to the day head and to the ensuite in the master cabin. We have a marble-clad ensuite, we have a big vanity, a shower, a porthole letting in natural light. In addition to the 3 guest cabins, we of course also have a 4th cabin down here, which is currently configured as a gym. You've got your techno gym equipment in there, so your cardio machine, you can lift weights. Really, it's the perfect place for any guest that wants to continue living an active lifestyle while on board. Now, if you're done with the gym or you're feeling healthy enough already, you may want to simply relax and unwind close to the water. And there is a perfect area to do that, which is the beach club, and that's where we're headed next. So just a few steps down from the main deck, we get to this beach club area. The beach club quickly becomes many of the guests' favorite area. It really makes you feel one with the sea, one with the ocean. And that really is the goal of a yacht, is spending time out at sea. We had the sunbeds, perfect for soaking in the sun. We of course had the sun umbrellas in case the sun just becomes a bit too much. we have this small circular table with seating for 4 people. Then behind me, we have some of the great water toys, which are these 2 sea bobs. You can whiz around under the sea feeling like a dolphin. And after you've whizzed around and you're back on the beach club, maybe you want to shower and get rid of all the salt, you have a perfect place to do that right there. We have this beach club shower. And that pretty much wraps it up for the beach club. But before we close today, I'd like to reveal what the name MILELE means. MILELE means forever, and I'm sure we'd all like to sit here and enjoy the sunset forever. Fortunately, we can't do that today, but if you enjoyed a yacht tour, or if you'd like to see anything else, please just leave us a comment, subscribe to our channel, and share the video. We'll have a lot more great yacht tours for you in the future. Hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.